Hey guys, just Fama here at NAMM. That's right, Almost Fama is on the scene at the National Association of Music Merchants 2018. It's been a great year. This is my part one of a 3-part special of NAMM. So come along with me as I get all the best interviews of the day.
3, 2, 1.
What's up, guys? I'm here with Austin Diamant. I said I was going to say it like that. Of DevilDriver. Camara, how are you?
Doing freaking fantastic. Can we cuss? Can I?
Sure, of course.
right.
I don't care. I don't effing care. I don't cuss. But you can cuss.
Yeah.
Cuss. Go ahead, do it.
Cuss, fuck, shit.
What's your favorite cuss word? Now that we're on
I think it's fucking. Probably fucking.
Not just fucking.
It's like
fucking.
if you're a bro from Huntington Beach, it's fucking like, you know, fuck. That's common. Anything I'm trying to explain has a fucking in it somewhere.
All right, I got you. What's going on? How's your NAMM? You're here with Attack Rack today.
Attack Rack. Wow, what an honor.
Rack, right?
Well, I was trying not to be a little fangirl myself. I'm sitting next to a drum legend, and then there's this like me sitting here. I'm like, what the hell? This is fucking weird, you know?
Don't you think that's awesome that they put you with Gene and they think about where they, are putting you?
I know. I guess at some point I got to realize I'm here to inspire motherfuckers, but it's an honor for me naturally to be that guy and for the masses. I mean, because I started as the guy in the garage doing the same shit from dudes like him that were giving me that ear candy. So to be that guy now, I mean, it's a whole nother level of respect and appreciation. Because when you're young, you come into it, you got all this shit to prove and all that. And now it's like, wow, I've done a lot of stuff. So it's like, now I'm here to remain to inspire others. That's literally it.
You just said you got put through a lot. What was some of the tests that you remember kind of getting put through when you were first coming up?
First of all, I mean, getting signed. I mean, because I just never saw it happening. Once you beat the morale of getting signed, and that it wasn't all what I thought it was going to be. I still to this day am shell shocked that I'm where I'm at doing what I'm doing, and people tell me this is a thing, and I'm like, I'm still just the dude in the garage to myself. I don't know, but I suppose we went through the trials and tribulations of the van, being next to 9 dudes and getting through that, because you can't be fake in that situation. You're going to be exposed eventually. Yeah. And that is the biggest thing. It becomes eventually not about how good you are, but how tolerable you are as an individual. Right. Do I want to be out here with you? Because you're doing this whole second family thing. So as my career's progressed, I like to think I've progressed as a drummer, sure, but more so I've learned even more how to be just a likable dude to be on the road, because it can honestly be more important at sometimes.
Right.
It's a weird thing.
Well, for example, getting endorsed through a company like Attack Rack.
Yeah.
If you were a dick, they'd be like, screw you, Austin.
And this was seriously one of the first companies, if not the first, that straight came to me and asked me, would you be interested in playing this? That was just a whole nother level of old and and honorable too, I guess. I don't know.
Wait, what? Are you sure you got the right number?
Yeah. It was just weird. It's all an honor. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I'm finally I'm just at that stage where I want to learn more so that I can put myself in a position to give back more.
Gotcha.
So that's why I started this site. That's why I want to give lessons, and I want to put out goofy videos of exposing myself, probably even fucking up at times, because I'm just going to be jamming.
Right.
So if I drop a stick and you think I suck, well then.
Well, too bad, because he's human people, and that's what
happens.
Yeah.
But no, I want you to laugh and be like, all right, this is supposed to be fun. I see a lot of videos of dudes that are really awesome, and it's good to see all angles, but it's also most important to have fun.
Back in December, you just played a show at Chimera. You guys reunited.
Yep.
How was that? Tell me about that a little bit.
Man, it was pretty pretty cool, man. It was definitely an honor to play with all the original dudes. I didn't get to do that first time around. It was what I respected about it the most is something I think was huge was the amends. The whole thing I was proud to be a part of was the amends of the group and people, because just remember, people, like when bands break up and stuff, shit happens, people break up, things happen. But if you could come back and learn something from that and then go give this thing back, like the music hundreds, maybe thousands of people love, remember, that's what you created this shit for. So everybody else, not just for yourself. So when that amends was made and I heard I got to be a part of that, it was an honor. And just, I'm all about shit like that. I'm all about the struggle, people getting through it, and then repaying the favor back. That shit's, like we just said, is it's healing for people.
Yeah.
So, if they can pull their shit together to like give it back to some people, then I'm sure of it that made a lot of people's year.
Yeah, I think that's
I can't put a
awesome.
price on that, man. And it was a really cool thing. I was honored to be a part of it. And luckily, I was available, and all the DevilDriver dudes were super pro and cool about it.
Right.
And understood, hey, they needed you.
Yeah.
And we're cool with that. So right on.
Now to get to DevilDriver, nice segue for me on that one. You guys are coming out with a new album this year.
Y'all ain't ready.
A cover album.
I'll do this for the 50th time. Anybody who thinks this is going to be country at all sounding, you're fucking smoking crack. All right, this shit's heavy, dude. This is probably one of the heaviest DevilDriver records, period, I've ever heard, to be honest. I'll go that length. As a fan and as a dude in the band, I think there's some challenging moments even there for me. Certain moments are like black metal, but somehow it's a country cover. So don't get it twisted. This shit's fucking special. You're going to be psyched. If you don't know these country covers, if you don't know those songs, just think of it as DevilDriver putting out another heavy record. Seriously. If that's what you got to grasp to get across your head that, oh no, they're doing a country record, like, just throw that away and just look at it like we're putting out a new album, because that's what's happening, and it is fucking pissed. And there are legends on there that there's a bucket list, and then I have a thing called a fuck it list. That's a list I didn't even know existed, and there are people on there that I could have never told you ever that I'd be a part of a song and them on.
Can you drop a couple names?
I can't.
Damn it.
I'm sorry.
I tried.
I'm sorry. I want to drop it.
One?
Because Dez is our guy, dude. What? Well, I think he dropped that Randy. I'll drop that.
I think we already
you
did know
knew
that. But that's okay.
But you asked for one.
I did. All right, fair enough.
I
Off
can't.
record? Off record?
Off record?
You'll tell me off record? You don't tell me right now, but off record. He'll tell me off. He'll tell me off.
I was coughing.
I love it. So you'll be touring though with this album, yeah?
Selectively. We
Okay.
got something else pretty major in the works.
Another secret?
Another secret
Oh,
off the record.
killing me.
Can't hear about this one.
Killing me.
I can't.
Killing me.
But I'm very excited about it. It's something I've never been a part of as well. And that's all I can say.
All right, fair enough. Let me ask you though, really quick, how did you guys come up with some of the songs that you were doing, like for the country album?
I'm gonna be completely honest. A good 95%. I kind of was just sitting there going, "Oh, that sounds cool, yeah." But it was solely pretty much Mike and Neil, from what I remember, or Mike. I'm sorry, Dez and Mike. Dez and Mike. Neil popped in here and there to give the approval, or I don't know if that's really outlaw country. He was the stamp of approval on that. But yeah, I didn't know that much outlaw country other than the obvious ones, Johnny Cash, and even Hank 3 is probably my favorite. I mean, I know that's more new, but he just doesn't give a shit, and I love that. And I guess that's what outlaw country is all about. So
that's great. All right, guys, thank you so much
Absolutely.
for stopping and chatting.
Yeah.
You're awesome. Awesome, Diamond. Make sure you guys go and check out DevilDriver if you haven't already, because they're coming out with a country album.
But not really.
What's going on?
chilling, hanging out, having a good time.
It's NAMM, the craziness that is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly,
Right.
exactly. Yeah, a lot of fun.
So, dude, you've been all over. You're everywhere with Max, right? You
yep.
Soulfly, you do the Max Keller Conspiracy,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
You do
yep.
everything.
Yep.
What's that like? What's
It's
that
fun.
like to be called into a band that's been
Yeah.
around for so long, and then
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna play with you.
It's a dream come true. You know, I'm lucky, grateful. You know, it's been unbelievable. I've been on like a roller coaster for the last 15 years that I've been in Soulfly. So it's pretty crazy. I'm
Yeah.
lucky, you know.
And you really bring so much energy on stage.
Oh,
I
right.
love watching you guys play. Like,
Oh.
first of all, I've been a huge Soulfly fan since I've been a kid.
Awesome.
But then, and I'm sure that you were too.
Me too,
So,
me too,
you know,
yeah,
your 14-year-old self, you're like, hey, hey.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But you bring so much energy up there. Like, you jump around. Like, I don't even know how you get that height that you get and
Thank you.
everything. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great thing that you get to bring yourself to, you know, that sort of project.
Yeah.
So was that hard in the beginning to do that and like kind of?
No, you know, a lot of that is just I'm just so excited to be in the band that I always just wanted to wild out on stage and just have fun because, you know, I'm playing in, you know, Soulfly with Max Cavalera,
Yeah.
so just excitement for me, you know.
Any cool stories? Like you guys play pranks on each other on
Yeah,
tour?
a
Anything
lot of cool
like
stories.
that?
Some things I could talk about, some things I can't, you know. But
Give me one of the halfway ones, like the one that you can maybe talk about, but you're not sure.
I mean, a lot of shenanigans that go on tour. A lot, you know, a lot of fun stories, a lot of late nights. I don't know off the top of my head, but you know.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. What do you do to pass the time when you're on tour? Because you guys are touring all the time. Like
yeah.
Max is constantly going, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he's like, oh, I'm done with this. Let's start this new thing,
Oh, yeah,
and then
yeah.
let's go back to this. So,
Yep.
do you get confused sometimes where you're like, who am I playing for right now?
I mean, you know, not really. It's all kind of the same style of music, you know.
Yeah.
The Soulfly, Cavalera Conspiracy. So I just have fun doing it, you know. It's a lot of fun.
And he's always there with his family members
Yep, a
and
lot of
everything.
family.
So
Oh,
you're basically a part of the family now.
Yeah, I guess
15
so. By
years
now,
in.
I'm 50 years in. Yeah.
Come
I'm getting
on.
there, you know. So, but I grew up like that, you know, being close with my family. So, you know, it's cool with me, you know.
Yeah.
I dig it.
So what are you doing for yourself? What are you
Yeah,
doing for Marc Rizzo right now?
Yeah, I got my new solo record coming out on Combat Records
Awesome.
with Dave Ellefson and Tom Hazard. And yeah, I'm excited.
the EMP label.
Yeah, EMP.
Oh, okay,
yeah, well,
perfect.
it's Combat, but
Oh,
EMP.
oh.
Same. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So,
the under.
Yep.
I don't know what you would call the.
they merged or something like
Okay.
that. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's instrumental guitar music. It's my 4th instrumental record, and I'm really, you know, excited for it to come out.
When you're doing something like that, how do you, I guess without lyrics and stuff, you have to express it differently. So how do you know when you're just doing instrumentals like that, you're getting your idea across? I know that's a weird question.
Just try to play melodic, you know, and I try to look people in the eye when I'm playing solos. That's the secret.
You find that one person
So
in
the
the
ladies.
crowd.
I look
Like
them in the eye
ladies.
and do the solo.
Look right down the barrel and give them the solo right now.
It's like,
I love it.
you know.
So when's your new record coming out?
March.
March. Okay,
yeah.
so we have that to look forward to. Are you going to tour and go and
Yeah.
play?
Oh yeah. I plan on doing probably U.S. tour at some point, and then maybe go down to South America, which is my favorite place in the world, and maybe Europe. So we'll see what happens. you know?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. MarcRizzo.com?
All those sites.
All those
I
sites.
think it's .com, and then I got a YouTube channel, Facebook, all that stuff.
Well, yeah.
Yep.
But I figured your actual site will bring everybody to everything.
Yeah, you could do that too. Yeah.
Perfect.
That works. Yeah.
Anything that you want to tell everybody about there, about following your dreams and something inspirational?
Apparently here at NAMM, I've learned that as long as you got a microphone in your hand, you're a big deal. I've got people like you know, give me high fives, and all of a sudden now, you know, I'm not the douchebag with a backwards hat on, you know, because I got a microphone. So put a microphone in your hand and just, you know, walk around. Apparently,
Right? That's what I should do. I should
Way
start
cooler.
walking around like this, actually. I put my mics away. I should walk around with it in my hand.
right? Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right, one more thing.
Yeah.
Tell us the do's and don'ts of NAMM. Your do's and don'ts of NAMM.
Don't stay up too late drinking. That's number one. Eat before you come here, because I'm starving right now. I haven't eaten nothing, so
That's
you know.
a good too.
Yeah.
Hold on, I can help you out.
Oh, yeah, what do you got?
Because I brought a lot of extra stuff. It might be a little squished.
Yeah, but
you
this
can
is
have it.
this is California, so
You
they're
can
probably
have it.
edibles, right?
No,
It's
just
got to
a
be weed.
Nutri-
It's got to be
just a-
weed in here, right?
No, it's just a regular Nutri-Green bar. I'm interviewing. I'm on the clock.
Is there protein in this? I can't eat anything unless I get enough protein.
Let's see. Hold on.
I'll eat it. Thank you.
Let me see. I'm going to actually see if there's protein in here.
Yeah, probably not. Probably like 2 grams.
2 grams.
2 grams. Yeah, I called it.
You got 2 grams of protein right there for you, Mark.
500 grams of sugar. I'm in.
Don't ever say I didn't give you anything.
Thank you. Thank you.
So see, that's your due. Do eat. Because
Yeah.
otherwise you'll be like Mark and you'll be hungry.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I will eat it. I will.
Awesome. Thanks so
you,
much
Jess.
for
Thank you.
talking to me and being here. Marc Rizzo,
you,
you
everybody.
guys.
Right on.
As if this man needs any introduction, ladies and gentlemen, Dave Ellefson of Megadeth. Hello.
How are you? How you doing?
Amazing. How are you?
Great. Getting amped up on coffee right now.
I know. Well, I said of Megadeth, but of EMP Label Group, of Ellefson Coffee Company, and Megadeth.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that the order now?
It's one of the few things that I do. Yeah.
You're so busy.
I am. You know, my new motto is say no to drugs and say yes to everything else. So when you say yes, life happens, you know.
Life
so
does
it's good to be
happen.
on the winning side of life, I guess.
I think that's amazing. You say, I mean, and everybody loves everything that you put out.
Oh,
How does
well,
that
that's good to
feel?
hear. You know, so far it feels great. I mean, you know, we try to. I just put out things that I'm passionate about. You know, obviously Megadeth is that. And we're
Yes.
celebrating 35 years of that this year, so that kind of that not only is a testimony to us, but also to our fans who give us that. And because the fans give us that, I get to do all this. You know? So it's kind of all part of the lifestyle.
I'd like to ask just at least one question about Megadeth here, because you have put out in statements before saying Megadeth isn't Megadeth without the both Daves. It's both of you, and that's how it should be.
Well, I mean, look, obviously, in my opinion, because he and I were the founders of the band. You know, the day, you know, I met Dave 2 months after he was let go from Metallica. You know, and there were some musicians he was kicking around with, and you know, he was, you know, and funny, he was always say, he goes, "This doesn't work. I'm going to go get into computers or something." You know what I mean? But obviously Dave has a very good knack at writing a song, you know, and it's interesting, those early years, 83, 84, 85, we spent a lot of time, you know, once Dave and I met, and my friend Greg, who really kind of brought the three of us together. And then ironically, a couple months later, we had to let my friend Greg go. It wasn't going to work out with him, but you know, he got it, what Dave was about. He got what Megadeth. As we sat in my apartment, I think it was our apartment, me and Greg's apartment, after we'd been rehearsing, it was me, Greg, Dave, our first drummer, Dijon Carruthers, and a singer named Laura that Dave had been working with. You know, we rehearsed a few times. We came back to the apartment. We talked about a name. And I believe it was Greg who said, "Why don't we call the band Megadeth?" Which was a song that Dave had written. First song he wrote after Metallica.
Okay.
And that is when and how the band formed. And, you know, so from there, you know, Dave was really good at casting a vision of what to do, how we're going to do it, when we're going to do it, where we're going to do it. He's really good at that, you know. And that, you know, the leader, you know, de facto leader of the band over the, you know, in the very beginning time. And, you know, Dave is also a friend of mine. I was a young man, 18 years old. He was 21. He really taught me how to grow up in LA and grow up in the city,
'Cause it's a tough
which
city,
I had no
ain't it?
experience with. So,
Yeah.
you know, he became a big brother to me. So, I mean, the narrative of our life isn't just we play in a band together.
Right.
There's we were homeless together. We would move in with people. Oftentimes they didn't know we were moving in with them.
You're like, we just need one night.
Well,
one
when your
night.
mail starts showing up to their house, they go, "Hey, what the heck," you know. But, you know, so Dave and I have those experiences together. And, you know, that is also the fabric of what this band is.
Of course.
And, you know, that's, again, we've moved far beyond that, and we celebrate now a lot of our victories and our successes together. But it's in our, oftentimes Dave and I don't sit around and talk about the highlights.
Right.
We'll talk about like when we were really in the dumps, you
Yeah.
know, and those are the moments that, you know, Kiko and Dirk have even said to go, God, just sit and listen to you two talk about your stories. And it's like that is such a big part of that because our fans were there with us through that whole journey.
Right.
You know, they gave us hope in an otherwise often hopeless period, you know,
Yeah.
and their love for our band helped us get through that.
It's
you know?
been proven over time, over 35 years. I mean, those
Yeah.
are some loyal
Yeah.
fans, and not just loyal fans, but new fans
Yeah.
all the time coming, right? I mean,
You know,
that's how
Charlie
it builds.
Benante said something to me one time that roles are defined in a band. Everybody in a band has a role. And when you step out of your role and you kind of, you know, stay in your lane.
Right.
You know, and you start bumping over into someone else's lane, you cause problems. And look, we've been through all of that too. And I think that's probably what has leading to our success right now in these last, say, 7-8 years, especially, is that, you know, everybody knows their lane, they know their role, and we just let each other do what we're really good at, you know. And
That's
then
awesome.
that way you're greater, you know, your strengths come together and you're greater than the sum of your parts.
That's so great. Now, EMP started back in 2015.
Yeah.
What made you decide to start a, Ellefson music group?
You know, I tell you, it all started over this little teenage girl band that I was managing called Dalskin. I said I would never manage a band and I'd never have a record label, and then here I am, you know, managing a band, them, and having this label.
Having a label.
First, I saw the very first show they ever played, and it was at a high school talent show at my son's high school.
Wow.
And they blew me away. I mean, I was like, wow, like that's what, you know. Like when I forgot the first Def Leppard record and they were teenagers, I'm going, you know, by and large, Def Leppard, that first record on Through the Night, made me feel like I could do this.
Could do it. They
Because
gave you
I
hope.
was like 15 and I think Rick Allen was 16,
Right,
the drummer,
right.
you know? So I was like, oh my God, I can do this, you know? And then Iron Maiden was real young and these bands of the new wave of British heavy metal. So when I saw Dalskin, I saw kind of like my life. I saw maybe me and them a little bit.
Right.
You know, I saw like, wow, the young, you know, a young band and they're friends and they're cohesive and they have a role, they know their role and they've got it. I mean, they just fundamentally have that. And I get so many bands who are like, oh, we've, you know, listened to our song or I'm a great guitar player. And it's like the individual pieces have to fit together.
Yeah.
You know, the fingers, Jason Newsted said when the fingers together make a fist, and the fist backs a more powerful punch than a single finger. And it's so true with bands. And so they were the reason. I took them in the studio. We produced an EP, or what became an EP. And then from there, I just realized, you know, we needed to put it out. And essentially, through that process is how EMP formed. And I wanted to call it a label group because I wanted it to be more than just a metal label, more than even just a rock label. I wanted to be able to put out whatever kind of records we needed: metal, Christian, country, pop records,
Whatever was good.
classical music, whatever came our way, that would be fitting to be released. And so it started with Dalskin, and then as life kind of turned, we signed a lot of groups. We found that there was this void in the business. You're either a young band. Look, and let's face it, record companies have always signed young artists.
Obviously, yes.
Because
it's harder for them to groom someone.
Timeline
right.
to look good, sound good,
right.
and get in the trenches and do the work, right? Older bands don't have that because they have jobs and you're married and you've got kids and life, you know? So, yet at the same time, a lot of my friends I grew up with, Mark Slaughter, Autographs, you know, these artists, I realized they were in a different phase of their career and looking to like, how do we monetize and how do we keep things moving for us? And
especially
my partner
now because
Tom,
everything's changed.
Yeah, my partner Tom started speaking with these guys and we found like, you know what? We've got a really awesome platform that we can help a lot of, you know, legacy artists have a home where we can be a partner with them. They'll own their music, they own their masters, so we're not taking anything from them. But let's kind of, you know, lock arms and
get them
go
going.
This together, you know? And because that's really more what the music business is about these days. It's about partnership.
Right.
This whole NAMM floor with endorsements is about partnering with a company where you can use their product and you can utilize their
Right.
marketing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So everything in life is about partnerships, and that's one thing I realized with bands and musicians. Musicians are really bad about thinking about partnerships.
Musicians are bad with
Right?
business. Let's just be
Yeah, well,
honest. Right? There's one.
As artists, we think musicians, we're into our music, we're into our gear, we're into us.
Yeah.
Right? And being into you,
Isn't the whole?
it's
the
not.
band.
It's and that's a difficult transition. I just got to say, Dave was really good at that in our early days with Megadeth. You know, he really knew how to pull all that together. You know, and
Right.
so you know, he became a good mentor, as again, kind of a big brother going through that, and then as we transitioned through that, you know, so a lot of the things that I do here were things that I learned growing up, you know, in a heavy metal band.
But how did you get into coffee? How did you do that? I mean, first of all, it tastes great. These little beans, I just gotta point them out right here. These are so delicious.
They are really good.
Oh my God.
And you know, a friend warned me, said he ate like 3 of them and he felt really good, and he ate like 5 or 6, and he literally was like jittering, and so I think 3 or 4 is the max. Yeah, eat your coffee. You know, it's funny with these because I call them coffee edibles.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But they're not mind altering. They're the non-mind altering form.
They're heart altering though. They get your heart going.
Yeah, so they're coffee beans. So they chocolate covered coffee beans. So you can eat your coffee.
But they have a good mix of both. They're not, the coffee is
They are
not,
good.
the bean is not overpowering, but it has
Yeah.
that nice crunch, and the chocolate, there's enough chocolate when
Yes.
you're tasting it. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I'm glad you like
I'm
them. I know.
serious.
And you can stick them in your pocket or your purse or
Yeah.
whatever and sort of nibble
just-
on them.
just in your
It's
mouth.
like a good NAMM coffee.
Yeah,
you walk around and kind
exactly.
of nibble on it and stay.
And then you're not bumping
Fired
into
up,
people
you
like
know?
dropping it everywhere,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. So
You
we
know.
got drink coffee you can drink. Well,
Yeah.
let's face it. I don't always play music every day, but I definitely drink coffee every day.
Yeah.
You know. You know, I don't. It's part of my lifestyle. You know, it's what I do, and
Yeah.
I find out there's a lot of people who drink coffee, and it's interesting because.
I
not
don't
to,
touch
not,
Red
not
Bull
to
or
be a
nothing.
shameless plug.
Oh, let's plug it.
But it's funny. This
We're
company.
plugging.
As long as we're at the booth.
I mean, we're at the
So
booth. We
it's-
might as well
It actually
plug.
started with this one. This company, Hydra Coffee, or Hydra Beer in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, came to a coffee opening that we did in my hometown of Jackson, Minnesota, and they asked if they could put our coffee, our Urban Legend coffee,
my
infuse
God.
it into their beer to make a coffee stout, which is now quite the trend. And we are
This is
on
cool.
the front
Yeah.
edge of a new trend of beer. So
Okay, I
we
gotta
have
go.
now this coffee stout. Yeah, go ahead. And then now we're doing it with we have Combat
With
Beer
Combat,
as part
yep.
of our Combat record label
With
as well.
Marc Rizzo is on. I
Yeah.
just got
Yes,
to speak
yes,
with him.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
So-
excellent.
We get. Who knew that having coffee would sort of open up into all these other ventures? You know?
Coffee just brings everyone together.
It
It's
does.
like, let's go have a cup of coffee.
It's like a good
Right.
song. It
Exactly.
brings you together. Yeah.
A good
Yeah.
cup of coffee does
Yeah.
that.
And like a good tuna can wake you the hell up in the morning too.
I know you got a lot of people here, but I have 2 more questions for you. The first one being, please tell the people out there, younger generations growing up, wanting to do this, what would be your number one thing to tell them right now?
Doing music
Yes.
or ventures or
Any of it,
Well,
really.
look. First of all, do something you're passionate about. You know,
Right.
when I got passionate about music, playing the bass and doing all that, and that drove all of this. Later in life, I got passionate about coffee that drove all this. Well, I got passionate about this band Dollskin and producing their music. That drove the
Right.
label and drove all that. So again, everything I do, you know, and obviously Megadeth, you know, when we formed that, there's no way you would just choose to be homeless, you know.
Yeah.
But because you believe in it and you're into it and you love the connection you have with other people, that's the reason to do all this.
Right, right, absolutely. I totally agree. Last question. I want to know your do's and don'ts of NAMM. Your do's and don'ts of NAMM.
Okay, so the dues. So when we put this booth together, I've been to enough NAMM shows, and I was a consultant and worked for PV for a lot of years. They had a massive booth over here. The year I started, they just bought a brand new one, big one, 10,000 square foot. They had the best carpet because it was a brand new booth. So I learned you need a good floor.
Actually, this is nice
This
and
floor's
squishy.
pretty good, right?
I know.
Yeah.
I was like,
It's a nice little
this is like
spongy
nice.
floor,
Yeah.
right?
It's like you're not going to get tired
A
on
good
this
floor.
and hurt your feet.
We have coffee, and we have a couch so you can sit down.
That's true.
In fact, I don't even know why we're standing doing this interview. We should be sitting down.
I know. That's a
But-
lot,
so
Dave,
those
making me
are,
stand.
Those are some do's. Don'ts. You know, NAMM fist bumps, and it's kind of dangerous because they have these new combat rings on. But fist bumps are always better than handshakes. Handshakes are like long-term relationships. We're not into that at NAMM. We need quick.
We don't want to be NAMM-thrax.
How are you, bro? Kind of stuff.
No
yeah.
NAMM-thrax.
Well, NAMM-thrax is the thing, right? and try to monitor how much you talk. And I realize I've talked a lot in this interview, and I should probably shut up.
Oh, I'm happy about
But
it, though.
to
Don't
keep,
get me wrong.
save your voice, save yourself from the germs. And my friends in Sepultura are over here, so I'm going to have to say hello
Yes,
to them.
yes.
They're coming in for coffee. So.
All right, they're coming
Awesome.
in for coffee. Thank you so much,
welcome.
Dave. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate
Yep, awesome.
it.
Yep, all good.
And good luck on all your. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. That was part 1 of my 3-part NAMM special. I'm Just Fama. This has been Almost Fama on the scene at NAMM. Make sure that you stay tuned for part 2.